This is my dream desk setup. For the last 3 years, I have been working non-stop in my bedroom creating videos. Having a good desk setup is not only essential for productivity, but also for inspiration and reliability. It helps me get into the creative zone and think of new ideas every now and then. Hi, I'm Pixel Sammy. I'm a YouTuber, freelance video editor, and an architecture student. And this is my dream desk setup. Over the years, I have changed my main gear, peripherals, etc. But this is the first time I have decided to remodel my entire desk setup. Not only the desk setup but also the walls. From my old MacBook Air with a Dell monitor to having dual Mac and Windows setup side by side, we have come a long way. I have been teasing this particular new setup on Instagram for quite some time now, which you may follow at pixel_sammy. I'll be very honest about one thing, maybe it is the architecture student in me, but I have always found room makeovers pretty fascinating. Changing the overall look of the entire room is something I targeted for my setup as well. Previously, I had a brown aesthetic to my room, which was good, but I wanted a change. This time I went for all white theme. Let's start with the desk, shall we? So this is the Ikea Micke desk. I have always loved the Ikea minimal looks and wanted it in my studio. As I didn't get any Linmont tables in stock, I used the next best thing. What I did was I purchased 2 Ikea Mickes and put them side by side. It has places to keep cables underneath, which saved me some time for cable management. And I've also put some changeable LEDs at the back of the table to add in some colors to the setup. I've always liked to keep things organized and in place. So for small things such as the remote of the LEDs, I use Velcro tapes and stuck them on the side of the tables. Great, stealthy and always in one place. The longer table has my main monitors, first one being the iMac 2019 version, which is the 6-core one, and my second one is the BenQ 27-inch 2K monitor. The Mac's display is just the added bliss, 5K 27-inch with damn color accuracy, and not to mention all my Final Cut Pro tutorials are made in this particular machine. You might wonder if I always be dependent on internal storage or not. The answer is no. Being a video editor, it is pretty important to have a lot of storage. So what I did was I used a small box and kept it behind my iMac, facing against the wall. And I have used 2 4TB hard disks over that particular box and another 1TB SSD stuck with a Velcro tape. This is really great and functional and keeps it clean and minimal, and not to mention it saved me $70 from buying an iMac hard disk rack. The BenQ monitor on the other hand has a 2K display, it's well calibrated, it cost only $350, and if you are looking for a budget monitor, this is the way to go. Though if you have a bit more of a budget, you can look at this particular monitors which I am showing on the screen. On the smaller desk, I have my beast editing setup which I made a few months back. This is the beautiful NZXT 510 Elite case, housing the 12 cores 3900H Ryzen CPU with 48GB of RAM and 8GB graphics from RTX 2070 Super. And as you can see, I have customized it with a lot of RGB fans, backplates, and as you can see, most of the things such as the cables also are RGB. I've always liked single color over RGB colors, so I have colored the entire setup mostly orange LEDs only. And this is my main setup where I edit all my client videos, make Premiere Pro tutorials, work on my blog, and also more designs for my future projects. And not to mention, being an architecture student, I do most of my architecture drawings and designs in this particular PC as well. Other than those, I have a PlayStation LED placed right below my CPU with my Osmo Action, some lenses, Apple Watch and AirPods. To complement my white setup, I am using a white wireless charger. All the links are there in the description below as well. Also, another great thing which I forgot to mention, being an architecture student these days, it's all about online classes, and I do them in neither of these particular machines. For online classes, I use my 2018 iPad Pro coupled with the Apple Pencil and the AirPods. It is easier for me to focus and take notes, and not to mention I use GoodNotes and Notability to annotate and write anything which I want on the iPad itself. During my online classes, it is pretty easy to use the multitasking feature and just take down notes whenever the teacher is saying something different or new. Also, I use the Procreate app to create some new designs here and there during my design classes. It's really cool, and with the Apple Pencil it really helps me draw down anything on the iPad. Not to mention I have the paper-like screen protector which helps me get the paper-like feeling on the iPad itself. It may not be as good as a regular paper, but it is very close. Coming to the peripherals of my main PC and iMac, my Mac has the basic Apple Magic Keyboard and the mouse. They are great, reliable and well built. Of course, I have some complaints about the Apple Magic Mouse, but it is pretty good on its own. Coming to my PC is where I went all out. This is the crazy, good looking Womier K66 keyboard. It's a great Gateron red switches keyboard and has a LED acrylic back where I put the yellow color to complement my setup. My mouse of choice is the Ajaaz AJ52 gaming mouse. It is a great cheap mouse. It has functional buttons, it is white and has great build quality and costs only $20. My headphone of choice is the KOVE Bluetooth headphones. I have already made a video on this, and on a budget, this is a great option for both video and content creation. My speakers are from Creative Pebble, and for just only $30, I must say the sound quality won't disappoint you. You're not only getting some great quality sound but also great aesthetics. Another thing which I use is an UPS. You might not need an UPS, but where I live, there are frequent power cuts, and to save my computer parts from getting damaged, it is always good to get some power backup, at least to save your projects and turn your computer off. Also, not to mention, all the green potted plants are just an added bonus for any kind of desk setups, and mine is no different. We all do a lot of things to make our setup look great. But one very important thing many people miss is having a proper chair. Having a good ergonomic chair to support your back is of utmost importance, especially if you are spending all day in front of your computer. For my setup, I am using the white Ikea Jallet chair. It is a mid to budget tier ergonomic chair. I love the mesh back. It is white in color. It gives great support and has wheels to change my position from one machine to the other. If you have a bit more budget, I would suggest to go for the Herman Miller chairs. They are really awesome. Also, I would definitely recommend not to spend in a gaming chair. They look good, they are good for playing games, but they are not meant for your back. They are not good in ergonomics, and the reason many people are buying them is because it is marketed really well. So keep that in mind and spend generously. Another great change which I did to my setup are the walls. Previously it was a simple painted walls. Now what I did was I added a brick textured wall which gives it a very rusted feeling, yet a very modern feel too because it is white in color. With that I added a white clock to complement the setup and some black acrylic birds and mountains to add in some contrast and liveliness to the entire background. And that, my friends, is my dream desk setup. I have changed my setup before, but this is the first time I have gone all out and made this as best as I could. Most of the items are bought over the span of 1 to 2 months and put together. I am so sorry if I have published this so late, but I wanted the setup to be complete with all the parts and all, and not show you something which is halfway there. With that being said, if you like this particular video, comment, like, share with your friends, and now it's time to get back to work.